Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We decided to go visit the Alberta Aviation Museum, which is located along Kingsway in central Edmonton. It's where the old Blatchford airport used to be that was active until just a few years ago. It's a pretty nice museum. I found it actually a lot better set up than the aircraft that you would find at Reynolds Museum in Wetaskiwin. I was actually pleasantly surprised. It's it's really well displayed. It's got pretty much everything. The section that we're going to be seeing first of all here is based on bushcraft, um, the surveys and stuff like that. However, this one here is a Curtis Stinson. And this is associated with a young lady that was one of the first female flyers. And 1917, so it was pioneering in aviation for everybody, including women. This is an old mail airplane used for mail, and it was an old Fairchild. I'm assuming that light probably came from the original old Blatchford airport, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
I went overseas with the 202nd Battalion, and when I got to England, I took another crack at it. I applied for a transfer and finally came through. So I spent the rest of the war in the Royal Flying Corps and the RAF.
Bit of a radio documentary there on Wapme. He was one of the famous fighter aces in Canada during World War I. That, I think, is a Cranwell. I'm not sure. Stinson? Jenny, I think. Or no, sorry, Stinson Reliant, I think that plane is. Oh yeah, there it is, right there. Gotta read my own video. So yeah, Stinson it is. I don't know about you, but I sure wouldn't want to land on those skis in the snow. That, I believe, the green airplane there is a Norseman. Kind of like the fact that they're using stuffed toy animal, no stuffed animals, real or otherwise. Or rather, it was plush. Some heating equipment they would use to keep the planes warm up north. I believe that's a Wacko, but I'm not sure. Gives you an idea of the size of this hangar. This hangar was actually used for the air training plan Commonwealth during World War II. So this is the hangar is actually a hangar that was used to train pilots during the Second World War, so it still exists. That's a Starheat fighter, Lockheed. For the Canadian Forces. If you're interested in jet engines and displays of jet engines, they've got a lot here, quite a few. Old Bell 47 there. Helicopter, of course. I believe that's a Canadair Silver Star. And I was right. Some radio equipment they used. I'm not sure what exactly it is. display case of Ward Air items. They were around, I believe, until the late 80s. Cutaway of one of their jet engines. Oh yeah, this was Pacific Western, I believe. And there was a bit of a controversy over one of the uniforms here, or probably both. And she went, protested for it. I think they got disciplined for 3 weeks, I think. They lost their job for 3 weeks. I can understand why the women were pretty upset about wearing it. Love to have one of these models. I assume this is probably the models that they had displaying in the airport showing the aircraft back in the day. But this thing even has detailed landing gear and everything. It's pretty cool. Some more models. Display case of the Pacific Western. This guy, I believe, is a Beach Model 18. Lethbridge Air Service. I didn't even know that Lethbridge had a airline. Maybe back in the day they did. Some more displays. I remember my grandfather used to have an ashtray with a model plane like that. And under the plane there was a light, and the light would work where it looked like there was, you know, lights inside the plane too. I'd like to know what happened to that. Imagine it'd be quite the collectors now. This is the back end of the B-25 Mitchell. I'm assuming this was probably the rear gunner area, which they've taken off. You can see the seat still there. And then they're kind of around the front here. This is probably the biggest airplane they've got in the museum here. The thing is bristling with guns. I was looking at this earlier, those barrels and that, and wondered what the accuracy was like with those. I think they were firing off 50mm shells. So I would imagine those guns were getting hot pretty quickly, and of course as a gun gets hotter, the accuracy goes down. Patriotic music. I don't know what this one is. It may be a Fleet 80 Canuck, I'm not sure. This is the simulators they ran in the Second World War. So those things you see the pilots or the pilot sitting in there is what they used to train to fly. So very early crude simulators. Reynolds Museum in Wetaskiwin, Alberta's got one of these too. But I've never seen a setup like this where they showed the controls and everything. So this is pretty good. I was pretty impressed. Get a kick out of that mannequin. She looks like she's, it looks like he's done a really bad job and she's trying to figure out how to tell him he failed. This is a Fokker D8, I believe, single wing airplane. This was a replica made by, I think, somebody that lived in Edmonton area. Not sure. I'm not sure if it was airworthy either. Not really sure why the Red Baron's standing beside it, because he only flew triplanes, as far as I'm aware. Avril Anson, maybe. I'm not sure about that. This is a scene, I think they recreated, of the bombing and the destruction of the Second World War. If you're interested, the car is a 1937 Packard 8. And this one here is a de Havilland Mosquito.
I don't think we ever thought. Not much, What's the fastest you ever got in the field?
12-cylinder engine
They
there.
told us.
They had a lot of power, those planes. This one also has a few guns in it as well. Probably 50 millimeters as well, I'm not sure. I don't know about you guys, but if I was caught storing a bomb like that on its front end, I'd probably get a lot of crap for it. I'm pretty sure that's not the normal way to store bombs. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thanks for watching.